Well, hey guys, it's Amy from Colorado Mountain Living. Guess where I'm at? We're in our new place. So I'm going to give you the tour today and kind of catch you up to speed with what's happened in the past week, our move-in week. It's been very busy, so it's been a few days since I had a chance to get video footage together, but lots happened, and I'll cut to some clips of what we've been up to. We've really been doing a lot of moving, of course, the heavy furniture, all the remaining boxes, a lot of boring stuff like cleaning up the old place. It's just that kind of exhausting, tiring thing that nobody wants to see on video. A lot of organizing's happened, trying to unpack and unbox everything, figure out where the heck you put your toothbrush. So that's just the trials and tribulations of moving, and I'm sure you're not jealous of moving all your crap and moving into a new place and having to reorganize everything. But even with the stressful part, it's still fun because we know it's like our last move.
That mattress is so weird.
Oh, floppy.
He's so floppy.
Here we go, Hager 2841. We have our official address sign from a friend of mine who's been a friend since childhood. His name is Craig Bertrand, and he owns the New England Container Company, and he makes custom-made laser-etched signs along with a lot of other things, and he custom-made us a sign for our new home. This is going to go up and be our marker. We've got an elk, then mountains in the background, some evergreens, some wildflowers with bees. It's all about us, and we're excited to hang it up for our new home. Let me give you a tour. So first of all, spring has sprung since we came back from our trip to Florida, and it's almost like a mini summer. So if I pan outside here, all of the aspens have their leaves. Here's our grill and Vigo. Hey, Vigo. We have so many wildflowers on the hillside right now. I'll show you some clips of the different ones that I found that were really pretty that are blooming right now, but the bees are loving it and they're not even taking any more feed right now. So it's definitely beautiful. We got a lot of privacy back from all of the aspens blooming. We can even barely see the neighbor's house down there, but we love our neighbors because they've definitely helped us out. So let me take you inside. I'll show you how we set up everything. So walking in, we've got couch right here. I've got the kitchen table to the corner. Now we are storing our windows in here, so they're still up against the wall and the screens and everything, but we kind of were able to throw the table in the corner there. So I like to use it as a place to prep food because it's just like an extension of the kitchen. I've got some storage shelves there. This is for my craft show setup, so I just had to put those there for now. Got a little desk right there. I'll get to the kitchen in a second. Right now we got a temporary bed on the floor for Lance because he's staying with us for the next month, and he's sleeping here on the floor next to our bed. We still have a pile of laundry to figure out where that goes to. Got the bed, well, the bed has been put together, but actually usable now. I've got some other clothes storage. A lot of my stuff on the other side of the bed here, just like some cubbies for clothes that I wear. And back out to sort of the living room area. So shelf, some ottoman, couch and chair. Lance chilling, watching Spider-Man. But it's kind of we got a decent sized living area, plenty of seating around. I've got some other chairs and storage and everything. Let's go into the kitchen area. So you can see hanging up is a big quilt in the corner. This is our bathroom area. It's sort of our privacy curtain. Needs some work. Might be nice to have something like a screen, a little bit, for guests. You kind of step up into it, and the cat's also using this as her area. She kind of has been sleeping here on the mat. But the toilet's working well, actually. The water flows into the toilet and fills the tank kind of slowly, but it flushes great, and I'm really happy about that. It's nice to have a functioning toilet inside. And here's the refrigerator we got delivered. We didn't have power for the first few days, so we didn't really have anything in there. So I had brought the cooler in with milk and those things that you just want to have, make sure that they're refrigerated. So I had the food stored in the cooler until Bryan was able to get the electric finally hooked up last night. So on this side of the refrigerator is our one outlet indoors right now. So one good piece of news Bryan found out is that the power from the neighbor's house, we're not losing any voltage from the distance. So he measured with his device 120 volts at the neighbor's house, 120 volts here at this outlet. So we're not getting any power loss from the distance of the cord. Now, one thing, I'll take you outside, that did happen, which was a real bummer because it really caused us a delay. So we had friends that had let us borrow this reel of power cord for use to connect to power, but Bryan found out that it didn't work. It was actually really corroded because it was old, and the ends, well, this wasn't the exact piece, but he just said the ends were all black. There was just no getting power out of this. There was just no connection, so he had to actually go and buy separate wire. So it was a real bummer because he got it all connected, this yellow wire, all the way down to the neighbor's house, and couldn't get any power out of it. So he ended up having to buy another, whatever it was, 300 feet of electrical cable, and it is doing the job. So he's got it connected out here. Here's the cardboard we have to throw away, but here's the box out here. It has an outside breaker, and it goes through the wall to the other side of the fridge. Since we didn't have power for the first few days, that very first night was very chilly inside. So the next day Bryan ended up picking up this propane heater at Home Depot, and it throws off quite a bit of heat, 50,000 BTUs or something like that. So it only takes 10 minutes to heat up this whole place with this going. And we only run it at night because we don't really need it during the day. We can just keep the doors open and it lets the cold air out. So we definitely needed this for some heat because it was, the worst part of it all was it was pretty chilly. So that runs off a propane tank. We have another propane tank over here for our cook stove. And this is working out great. Made a stir fry last night. And I was using this to heat up water so I could do dishes. Now let me show you the sink. We've got some dishes in it now. So I'll show you our initial testing of the sink. We didn't have a chance to test it before our trip. Everything happened so fast and we had so much to do. We didn't get a chance to check it out, make sure that it worked well until we got here.
Here's what?
Hear it. Here it comes.
Oh!
What happened?
I don't know.
We got a leak?
Uh-oh.
That's about the extent of our water pressure, but you know what? It's running water, and right now there's a little bit too much chlorine in the tank, Bryan thinks. We're not using it for drinking water, so we're just taking extra gallons of water for drinking water and keeping this just for cleaning right now. But the reason why it wasn't working, the hot water side of the fixture needed to have a cap on it. So Bryan had to put a cap on it, and it's still leaking somewhat. Not a lot. This is about, after a day's worth of use, we're getting about a quarter cup of water in the bowl. So it's still leaking somewhat, and that could maybe explain why there's not as much water pressure. The toilet doesn't seem to have a lot of pressure, but it's just gravity fed, so what do you expect? Still have plenty of room on the shelves, so let me back up here. I've got some stuff on the floor, pantry items all around the middle shelf, dishes on the bottom shelf, Yeah, still plenty of room on the top shelf. And then all of the dishes and everything, this is just what we've been using in the last few weeks of living in the rental. So a lot of stuff is still packed in the garage. All right, so now that we've got our electric, today for the first time I got to try using my hot water kettle. So I plugged in, I got an extension cord from the wall, and I just kind of leave it here on top of the washer dryer, and I'll just plug in one appliance at a time. So what's been helpful is just, it's kind of training us to be really cognizant of our electrical use. So things get unplugged when you're not using them and plugged in only when you're using them, and try not to use multiple things at the same time. So that'll help train us for running solar if we decide we're definitely going to go through with that. And we're probably going to do another video on that decision process. We still have more research to do, and we still have to talk to the power company. So it was definitely thrilling today to be able to have a piece of toast in the toaster, have a hot water kettle, and be able to make a smoothie in my blender without worrying about electrical. So, and you know, everything worked fine with plenty of power. So that is definitely, that is glamping. That is definitely gourmet camping. So yeah, things are looking pretty good. We still have, you know, it doesn't feel cramped in here. It definitely feels like we have a lot of space. I mean, you know, it's more cramped than usual because we have an extra mattress on the floor, but living area wise, we still are trying to figure out some of the unpacking and organizing. I need to figure out where I'm going to be putting a lot of my jewelry stuff for a little workshop area. But not bad. So far, so good. And eventually Bryan's workshop corner is going to get moved. Some of his next projects are working on an outdoor garage. We're going to clear some and level some more areas so he can build an outdoor workshop, so he can do the rest of, so he'll be able to work through the winter and do some things. But for now, not bad. Oh, and I also wanted to mention that we ended up getting a carbon monoxide detector because of all this propane use. We wanted to make sure we're not doing anything unhealthy for ourselves indoors. Usually when I'm cooking on the cook stove, the doors are wide open, and we're just using the propane heater for maybe an hour at night with the doors closed. So far so good. It's rated for indoor and outdoor use, so we're definitely trying to be safe about that. But hopefully you enjoyed the little tour so far of how things kind of shaped out for us. It's definitely exciting to kind of be here and then look out at the mountains in the morning and sit there with my cup of tea and just kind of enjoy the sunshine in the morning and kind of move on to the next steps now that we're not going back and forth all the time and moving stuff. I mean, the last 6 weeks have just been sort of flat progress-wise because we've just been preparing to move and moving. So the next steps are working on getting the outdoor workshop together, talking to the power company, making our final decision about whether we're going to go with solar or stay on grid or maybe a combination of both. So stay tuned, guys. We've got a lot more. I'll have a lot more videos coming up this week because I've got more time on my hands, not so busy moving. And I'll keep you updated on the bees next. And I'd love to hear any comments you have. If you have got any questions about our setup, if you have any suggestions about how to maximize tiny space, maybe some tiny home living tips. Not that this is a tiny space, but the kitchen area is definitely tiny. Maybe you have a suggestion about the bathroom area, how to make that a little bit more private, because we're making it work, and hopefully by the end of the summer we'll be able to move half of the stuff upstairs and expand to the rest of the house. So thanks for tuning in and supporting us. We've made it. I'm very happy about that. And we'll see you at the next video. Keep you updated on our progress this summer. See you later, guys.